Welcome to Star Spangled Awesomeness, where we dive headfirst into the chaos left by the Biden administration, now being masterfully untangled by Donald Trump. I'm your host, an ordinary American who's seen through the smoke and mirrors of mainstream media to grasp the raw, unfiltered truth. Join us as we celebrate this new golden era, shining a light on the corruption and injustices that the media loves to sweep under the rug. Here, we'll showcase the vibrant resurgence of America, reclaiming its former glory. Thank you for tuning in to witness the spectacular comeback of the greatest nation on Earth. Let's waste no more time and get into it. Welcome back, my freedom-loving, wonderful friends. Last night, March 4th, 2025, President Donald J. Trump walked into Congress like a boss. 6 weeks into his second term, he unleashed a speech so razor-sharp, it carved out the America we demanded and left the Democrat Party a smoldering wreck. Tariffs, borders, woke rot. He brought the fight, and I loved every minute of it. The Dems, they just sat there, whimpered, sneered, and bared their rotten core. This wasn't just words, it was a takeover, and they were absolutely powerless. Hang on and stick with me because I'm going to walk you through some of the gut-punching wins as well as the merciless jabs and the scenes that either will have you roaring for Trump or gaping at their gutless crumble. Trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this. Last night, the energy of the room was pure electric when Trump walks in and he's like, America is back.
And to my fellow citizens, America is back.
And he's not kidding, folks. He won the 312 Electoral College votes, all 7 swing states, and a whopping 2,700 counties to the Dems' measly 525. I mean, that's a landslide so big it could bury Sleepy Joe's whole administration.
And won counties in our country, 2,700 to 525. On a map that reads almost completely red for Republican.
And get this, in just 43 days, he signed nearly 100 executive orders and over 400 actions. That's more hustle than most presidents muster in 8 years. Republicans like Mike Johnson and VP J.D. Vance were on their feet, pumping fists. Meanwhile, the Dems, they literally were sulking like they just found out their avocado toast was taxed.
By many. And what?
I mean, it really was that simple. Promises made, promises delivered. Trump last night dropped the border security bombshell that illegal crossings last month were the lowest ever recorded. Compare that to the Biden years. Hundreds of thousands pouring in monthly like it was an open bar free-for-all. It was a total breakdown that cost many lives, like Laken Riley, who was murdered by an illegal alien.
Makes it even more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that? How about it? I don't know about that list, but we'll take it. Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever. They heard my words and they chose not to come. Much easier that way. In comparison, under Joe Biden, the worst president in American history, there were hundreds of thousands of illegal crossings a month. And virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions and insane asylums, were released into our country. Who would want to do that?
Trump's Laken Riley Act, signed into law, is locking up criminal aliens, and Republicans stand firm honoring that commitment to safety. The Democrats, they were so busy flashing silly little signs like Save Medicaid, as if that excuses the chaos they let fester the past 4 years. Their negligence, and really it is their fault, left us all vulnerable, and they've got nothing but props to show for it. Absolutely ridiculous last night.
And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way.
But when Trump started to go into talking about America's future and its economy, that's when Trump's economic game shined through. Small business optimism soared 41 points, literally the biggest one-month jump ever. Then Trump's bringing in $1.7 trillion. Okay, so these numbers are extremely impressive. We have $200 billion from SoftBank, $500 billion from OpenAI and Oracle, then another $500 billion from Apple, and then just recently $165 billion from Taiwan Semiconductors. As we saw the Republicans cheer as Elon Musk's efficiency crew hacks away the waste, what were the Democrats doing? They were whining, holding signs that say, "Musk steals." Well, maybe if they hadn't cratered the economy, we wouldn't need him to fix it. They're just mad that they've been exposed.
Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified. $22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million. $8 million for making mice transgender. This is real. $32 million for a left-wing propaganda operation in Moldova. $10 million for male circumcision in Mozambique. $20 million for the Arab Sesame Street in the Middle East. It's a program. $20 million for a program. $1.9 billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee, headed up, and we know she's involved. Just at the last moment, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacey Abrams. Have you ever heard of her? A $3.5 million consulting contract for lavish fish monitoring. $1.5 million for voter confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $59 million for illegal alien hotel rooms in New York City. He's a real estate developer. He's done very well. $250,000 to increase vegan local climate action innovation in Zambia. $42 million for social and behavior change in Uganda. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well with learning. I don't know what we're doing. We should use it ourselves. And $101 million for DEI contracts at the Department of Education, the most ever paid, nothing even like it. Under the Trump administration, all of these scams, and they're far worse, but I didn't think it was appropriate to talk about them. They're so bad. Many more have been found out and exposed and swiftly terminated by a group of very intelligent, mostly young people.
The Department of Government Efficiency, otherwise known as DOGE, is the best thing to happen to the American people, led by Elon Musk. That's why the Democrats are so mad. And he's targeting over $500 billion in annual fraud. You see, Trump right now is exposing a system so rotten, it's paying Revolutionary War vets. DOGE is slicing $2 trillion from federal spending, axing 75% of regulations, choking businesses. Like the 1,200-page climate rules Biden piled on to everybody. Republicans right now are so excited and happy, finally, a pit bull to chew through the swamp. The Democrats right now are waving these stupid little pitiful signs that say Musk steals. Come on. As if the $36 trillion debt wasn't a dumpster fire that they contributed towards. They blew through $320 million on the border wall in Jordan under Biden while our bridges crumbled and our borders were left wide open. Trump's DOGE is shredding all this stupid waste, and they're just mad the money train is over. And Trump continued on with his America First agenda, unleashing a tariff tsunami, 25% on foreign aluminum, copper, lumber, and steel starting April 2nd. Not April 1st, but April 2nd. Plus reciprocal tariffs to match overseas moochers. The boss man is threatening 100% tariffs for dollar dumpers like BRICS and blasting Canada and Mexico. $350 billion in trade deficits repaid with fentanyl and migrants. China's $600 billion deficit last year? Over. Steel's back in Pittsburgh, lumber in Oregon, copper in Arizona, saving 500,000 jobs Biden had lost. Tariff reliefs offered to allies who play ball and smart. America's golden age is in full swing, and the Democrats absolutely can't stand it. I'm not really sure why they think $1 trillion deficit under Biden and 70,000 factory closures since 2000 is something to be proud of. One of the standout moments was when Trump dropped the hammer on social chaos, banning transgender ideology in schools, killing what he calls a woke mind virus that jumped autism rates from 1 in 10,000 to 1 in 36 since the 90s.
We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military. And our country will be woke no longer. We believe that whether you are a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, or an air traffic controller, you should be hired and promoted based on skill and competence, not race or gender.
Democrats didn't like it when Trump announced that he is mandating the death penalty for cop killers.
1 year ago this month, 31-year-old New York police officer Jonathan Diller, unbelievably wonderful person and a great officer, was gunned down at a traffic stop on Long Island. I went to his funeral. The vicious criminal charged with his murder had 21 prior arrests, and they were rough arrests, too. He was a real bad one. The thug in the seat next to him had 14 prior arrests and went by the name of Killer. He was Killer. He killed other people, they say, a lot of them. I attended Officer Diller's service, and when I met his wife and one-year-old son, Ryan, it was very inspirational, actually. His widow's name is Stephanie, and she is here tonight. Stephanie, thank you very much, Stephanie. Thank you very much. Stephanie, we're going to make sure that Ryan knows his dad was a true hero, New York's finest, and we're going to get these cold-blooded killers and repeat offenders off our streets, and we're going to do it fast. Got to stop it. They get out with 28 arrests. They push people into subway trains. They hit people over the head, back of the head with baseball bats. We got to get them out of here. I've already signed an executive order requiring a mandatory death penalty for anyone who murders a police officer, and tonight I'm asking Congress to pass that policy into permanent law. I'm also asking for a new crime bill getting tough on repeat offenders while enhancing protections for America's police officers so they can do their jobs without fear of their lives being totally destroyed. They don't want to be killed. We're not going to let them be killed.
1,200 officers slain since 2010, and cracking down on drug lords, fueling 107,000 overdose deaths last year alone, mostly from fentanyl smuggled over Biden's open border. Make it make sense. Why is that so bad when you have Americans literally dying over the crimes that are being committed? Like, how did the Democrat Party become so hateful? For me, I thought the most memorable part to this congressional address was the heartfelt tributes that Trump gave, honoring Laken Riley, a 22-year-old nursing student killed by an illegal alien in 2024 under Biden's watch. Her mom sitting in the gallery wiping tears as he vows the Laken Riley Act will deport 50,000 criminal aliens by year's end.
A brilliant 22-year-old nursing student named Laken Riley, the best in her class, admired by everybody, went out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia. That morning, Laken was viciously attacked, assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and horrifically murdered. Laken was stolen from us by a savage illegal alien gang member who was arrested while trespassing across Biden's open southern border and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed administration. It was indeed a failed administration. He had then been arrested and released in a Democrat-run sanctuary city, a disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel. With us this evening are Laken's beloved mother, Allison, and her sister, Lauren.
I have to admit, I got pretty choked up when Trump was honoring Laken Riley last night, because I recall when this tragedy happened and Biden did his State of the Union address, he could barely manage to say Laken Riley's name properly and give her the respect that she deserved.
I'd be a winner. Not really. Laken Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of the thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand. But look, if we change the dynamic at the border, people pay these smugglers $8,000 to get across the border because they know if they get by and let into the country, it's 6 to 8 years before they have a
Last night, Trump gave her the proper respect the president should have as a result of America failing her. And last night, we saw exactly the kind of people that belong to the Democrat Party. They couldn't even stand and give Laken Riley's mom the respect she deserved as a result of their bad policies failing her. And that wasn't the only time in the night where the Democrats showed themselves to be disgusting human beings. There's 13-year-old Corey from Pennsylvania, battling lymphoma, up there in the gallery. Trump makes him an honorary Secret Service agent, pinning a badge on his chest for his courage. I mean, truly disgusting. Not a single clap for Corey or even muster a head nod for this dying kid.
And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service. Thank you, DJ.
And it really says a lot about the hatred that the left holds for Donald Trump when they couldn't even for 1 minute put that hatred aside to be happy for a little boy whose dream came true. All because it was Donald Trump who was the one that made that dream come true.
What a good-looking family, huh?
There's one more thing I got for you, a big hug.
Okay, good. That's very nice. Look at that family you got, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very nice. How are you? Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. That was a big evening last night, right?
Yes, it was.
That was a big evening.
You can see clearly why America voted the way that they did in 2024, and the people have spoken. We don't want any more division or hatred, as well as our money being stolen. And that's what's now all coming out. And I'm glad that they have been put on blast because everybody got to see exactly who they are last night.
By big numbers and won counties in our country.
Last night's address to Congress was a masterclass in what leadership should look like. Border locked, economy booming, and 850,000 jobs. $2 trillion in waste slashed. Tariffs crushing freeloaders. Military roaring back. Peace deals getting signed. And real Americans like myself.
More Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever.
Feeling a sense of pride and being proud of being an American. Mike Johnson, J.D. Vance, and every red-blooded patriot in that chamber were on their feet last night chanting USA for a leader who's delivered more in 43 days than Biden did for America in 4 years.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning. Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session. Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
Now, after I got done watching this speech, I truly felt a sense of pride, a level of optimism, and hope that America is finally back on the right track to being the great country that we once were. America's future is so bright that every day I wake up excited to see what the day unfolds. We can't stop winning. And for those that are in this country angry over that, well, then maybe America is not the right place for you. Go try Europe and see if you like it better there. I like to win, and I'm staying here to keep America rocking until 2029.
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
If you enjoyed this video and found it interesting, please hit the like button to help me decide on future content. Thank you for watching. Until next time.
I think you're star-spangled awesome.